Imagine for a minute if there was a child in front of you. That child purposely dropped printer ink on your brand new pair of Heelys. What do? Do you A, discipline the child to make sure something like that never happens again? Or B, send the child to the deepest pits of hell for all of eternity? If your name is Twilight, Sparkle, Celestia, or Luna, then you probably chose option B. Hello, my name is CXCD, and something feels a little bit off about Season 8 and Season 9 of Friendship is Magic. Contrary to popular belief, I don't actually think that Season 8 and Season 9 are actually that bad. I actually quite enjoyed them. I thought they were great. And a lot of people seem to really hate the later seasons. And I think it's because there was a major change in direction. And happened before, I mean, in Season 4 went from Twilight Spark learning about friendship to suddenly becoming a princess. And a lot of people hated that change. And I think the same thing happened with Season 8 and 9. Suddenly, they went from becoming a princess to the School of Friendship. I think it's similar to the commotion around Alucard and Twilight because it was just such a major change in the show's direction. Same thing here. And, I think it's good that the series changes a lot, I think MLP is very unique because in the show, time progresses. The main six throughout the entire show change and they grow. Rarity's business goes from like what, a pop-up shop in the middle of hick nowhere to, by the end of the series, a big brand that's in multiple locations. I mean, Big Mac gets a wife. As I said before, Twilight becomes a princess. The CMC get their marks. A lot of cartoon shows just don't do that. A lot of cartoon shows just stay the exact same forever. I mean, for instance, SpongeBob's been flipping Krabby Patty since the late 90s. I mean, but I'm not here to talk about Season 8 or Season 9. Well, actually, I am, but whatever. I'm here to talk about the villain of Season 8 and Season 9 named Cozy Glow. Cozy Glow was a villain for Season 8. Throughout the entire season, she gained the trust of Twilight and even became her frickin' number 2 in command. Or I guess her assistant, I suppose. But all of that was actually an evil plan. Because in the end of the season, she tries to take over Equestria. She trapped Starlight Glimmer and trapped the main six, but was eventually thwarted by the Tree of Harmony. So in short, Cozy Glow did a big bad and tried to take over Equestria. We've not heard that before, have we? So obviously, you'd imagine that just like every other villain, Twilight talks to her and teaches her about the magic of friendship. Right? Well, actually, Cozy snaps at Twilight and kind of yells at her and then tries to escape. She is then captured quite quickly and then, well, you see, this is where things get a little bit complicated because then they send her to the pony version of hell. It's called Tartarus. Hold on. Tartarus. It's called Tartarus, I'm pretty sure. If you don't know already, Tartarus is a physical place within the MLP universe that is basically like an impossible to escape from jail. It's also filled with the worst things ever. It's filled with ghosts and ghouls and crazy stuff. And they put a child into it. I'll get into why this is a bad thing in a minute, but just keep this in mind. They put a child into hell. Cozy Glow, with the help of Tyrek, Chrysalis, Discord in disguise, breaks out of the jail. They all try to overthrow Equestria, but long story short, the power of friendship happens, and they get defeated. So then what happens now, right? I mean, I understand Chrysalis and Tyrek, I get why they're evil and should be locked away, but after all, Cozy Glow is like, what, only 12? You can reform her, right? So did they try to? No. They pull a Discord and lock her in a stone statue. Okay, let me explain this as carefully as I can. Do you think Cozy Glow deserved this fate? Honest answers, please. Because if you said yes, congratulations. You want to lock a child in a liminal torture for the rest of, I don't know, 1,000 years? I think that Cozy Glow really didn't deserve this fate. Let me try to explain this as rationally as possible. Something like Cozy Glow has already happened in the series before. Starlight Glimmer, almost identical. In the same way that Cozy tried to run away, Starlight also snapped at Twilight after being explained a friendship by her, and then ran away. But the big difference, the key difference is that Starlight actually got away. And then Starlight spent an entire season planning her revenge against Twilight. And then she actually did it. She was actually successful. She freaking tortured Twilight across multiple timelines. And then at the end of all of this, Twilight offered her friendship and she accepted it. So why wasn't Cozy Glow offered friendship the second time? They didn't even try. They just yelled at her, then locked her in stone. So why didn't they treat Cozy Glow the same way? You might say because Cozy Glow rejected Twilight's offer of friendship, but like I just said, Starlight did the exact same thing originally. But she was offered a second chance at the end of the season 5 finale. So why didn't Cozy Glow get offered a second chance? I mean, Starlight literally tells Twilight to shut up in the season 5 premiere.
Every pony has unique talents and gifts, and when we share them with each other, that's how
Quiet!
I think it would be reasonable to assume that if Starlight was captured in the season 5 premiere, it would be reasonable to assume that she would also be locked in Tartarus. Can you imagine that? An alternate universe where Starlight is just locked away? So in the season 9 finale, Twilight and the gang defeat Cozy. And unlike the season 5 finale where Twilight just talked her head off for like a full minute and then Starlight accepted friendship, Cozy Glow didn't even get a chance. Twilight didn't even do her signature friendship is good spiel before just zapping her away into stone. This is such a double standard. Both Starlight and Cozy both plotted their revenges. I think Twilight is just angry that Cozy got away. I mean, Starlight is a grown woman who similarly plotted against Twilight and her friends and got away with it. Cozy is a child who did the exact same thing, albeit on a much grander scale, did the exact same thing and got a severe punishment for it. Starlight got away with not even a slap on the wrist. So like I said, this is kind of the good part, I guess. Cozy just isn't a pony who did something bad. She's a filly. She's a child. She's like, what, 12, 14, 8? I don't know. She's a literal child, and instead of Twilight taking the time to explain to her what she did was wrong, she sent her straight to Tartarus, which I know I just explained it, but let me reiterate for the people in the back, she was sent to pony hell. And then she was locked in a 5-foot by 5-foot cage for eternity? I don't know how long her sentence was. Thank God in the US we have protections against cruel and unusual punishments. Holy shit. Not only is being locked in a small cage bad for someone's mental health, obviously, but she's a Pegasus who needs to fly. And she's only 12. I can't get over this. Why is nobody else talking about this? Because Twilight in the season 8 finale, not the season 9 finale, the season 8 finale monologued at her. And because what? Twilight's monologue didn't work, they sent her to hell? Let me try to fit this square peg in a round hole. Oh, it doesn't fit? Straight to hell! You didn't even try any other methods of reformation. Why is Twilight's only method of reformation talking to somebody for a minute? Why are you surprised that it doesn't work, Twilight? Why is talking the only thing she tried and then gave up? They didn't even try! They just monologued at her and locked her in pony hell! Why is everybody okay with this? Let's go in a little deeper. In the scene where Cozy Glow is defeated and captured, I guess, Cozy Glow said that what she did to gain power. And power is to make friends. And those are like kind of a feedback loop where they go into each other. Obviously, she has a broken misunderstanding of what friendship is. And so Twilight says this.
You're the one who doesn't get it, Cozy. Friendship is powerful, but power isn't why you make friends. I'm sorry I couldn't teach you that.
Twilight doesn't even try to refute her for some reason. If anything, she confirms what Cozy Glow says, that friendship is power. Wow, good job, Twilight. That was great. I say that Cozy Glow, everything that Cozy Glow did after she was locked in pony hell is Twilight's fault. I know Twilight probably wasn't the one to actually physically lock her up. That probably goes to like Celestia or Luna or something like that. But oh my god, Twilight sure as hell helped, didn't she? She locked Cozy Glow behind bars, as far as I can tell, with no chance of escaping. I know she did, but is Twilight really that surprised that Cozy Glow broke out? Are you surprised that this filly decided to go for evil? Especially after she knows that probably all of Equestria hates her and Twilight confirms that friendship is power to her? Are you surprised? I've asked a few people about this, about if Cozy Glow, deserved her punishment. And I got a wide variety of answers, and I'll go through a few, just real quick. First of all, an answer that really stood out to me was the fact that some people think Cozy deserves a punishment, just not the one she got. She got the worst punishment imaginable for something that was a basic misunderstanding, basically, right? She has a fundamental misunderstanding of how friendship magic works, and Twilight confirmed her misunderstanding and then locked her in hell. So when she broke out, she then got an even worse punishment of being locked in a stone statue for 1,000 years. Of course, we don't know if it's 1,000 years. It could be 5 years. Who knows, right? But the MLP franchise seems to be very consistent with locking villains away for 1,000 years. Nightmare Moon, the Crystal Empire and Sombra, Discord, Nightmare Moon. Did I already say Nightmare Moon? Another one I got was actually quite surprising. Somebody in my Discord server argued that Cozy Glow being locked in hell or in stone is better than being reformed. And not because Cozy Glow's evil, because she would probably need, what, a caretaker, like how Starlight had Twilight? She would need somebody to watch over her to make sure she didn't do anything bad, right? And to reintroduce her to society. Somebody was trying to argue to me that being locked in stone, possibly for 1,000 years, is a better fate than being surveillanced. As if you aren't being surveillanced while being stuck in a stone statue. Is it better to be locked in a stone statue than to feel, to grow, to learn? Remember, like I said, Cozy Glow is a literal child! They did this to a child! How am I the only one who thinks this is freaking bad? Her life was cut short because of why? Because she did a bad thing? She has so much left to learn, to grow, but instead the people around her decided that locking her in a cage is a better idea than even entertaining the thought of trying to reform her. Is Twilight mad that Cozy Glow didn't instantly snap over to being good like Starlight did? I don't know. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit heated, and I'm so sorry if this video is just 8 minutes of me yelling, because I wrote the script that way. But they did this to a child, dude. I've heard some people say that you can only hide behind the argument that Cozy Glow's a child for so long. But it's true. People say that her being only a child is an excuse that can only hold up for so long. I disagree, because she's a freaking child. Am I crazy? Am I the crazy one for thinking that children shouldn't be locked in federal prison Alcatraz? Am I crazy for being the person to think that something really bad happened to Cozy Glow that made her turn out this way? Am I crazy for thinking that they at least should have tried to reform her instead of locking her in pony hell and then stoning her? I think that Twilight is a massive freaking hypocrite. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go let off some freaking steam, so make sure to subscribe to the CXCD channel. Discord server is linked down below if you want to be part of these horrific discussions about child being locked away in hell. And I am freaking out of here. Goodbye.
I bite at the hand that feeds me, slap at the face that eats me. Some kind of animal cannibal made impressions on me.